Hey, what is up everybody? It's Truth Chaos here, and today I've got another Black Ops 3 gameplay for you guys. It's pretty good gameplay, but I'm not going to talk anything about the gameplay. What I actually want to talk about today is Call of Duty versus Battlefield in a World War II setting. Now, the reason I have this idea for this commentary is because a lot of people have been saying they want to see Call of Duty go back to a World at War game, a World War II shooter. And I can agree to that. But also I've seen a lot of people on the Battlefield side of things, when I started looking up information for Battlefield 5 and things like that, a lot of people on the Battlefield side of things, in the Battlefield community, have also said that they want to see Battlefield do a World War II shooter. And I just kind of want to talk about which one I think would actually end up being a better game. So, while both games are really good, and a lot of people, argue over which is better than the other, in my personal opinion, I don't think either game is superior to the other game. I think it kind of just depends on your personal preference. If you like a fast-paced arcade shooter, then you're going to like Call of Duty. But if you like a more strategic, realistic style shooter, then Battlefield is definitely going to be the way to go for you. It all just kind of boils down to personal preference. I play both of them. I really enjoy both of them. And so, I've always been more of a Call of Duty fan, because I'm used to it. I like the more fast-paced action, where Battlefield can be pretty slow sometimes. But, it is what it is. But I enjoy both of them. I don't think either one is better than the other. Now, when it comes to a World War II setting, on the other hand, I do kind of think that one would be more superior to the other, simply because of the era that World War II was in and the things that it would take to make the game good. Now, on a Call of Duty standpoint, Call of Duty has had plenty of World War II games on the Call of Duty side of things, and World at War, when you look back at that, that was probably be the most popular one, considering that's whenever the Call of Duty community was really starting to grow, especially on YouTube. But when you look at the way Call of Duty is played nowadays, do you really think a World War II shooter would be good for Call of Duty? I think it could be, as long as it was done right, but when it comes to certain things, I kind of think that it could make the game a little boring, if you will. Maybe not so much as Ghost was. Personally I enjoyed Ghost, but it was a pretty boring Call of Duty. Let's all face it. That doesn't take away the fact that it was a good game. It was a good game overall. It had good hit detection. Is decently set up. Just the map layouts were pretty bad, and they were a little big, and the kill streaks sucked. But you think about World War II. What kill streaks would you have for Call of Duty in the World War II era? You really don't have much. You didn't have things like AC-130s back then, or remote-controlled sentry guns. You could probably get like a sentry gun, but it would be like a turret that you would set up and you would control it manually, right? You didn't have automated sentry guns back in World War II, not that I know of, at least. You didn't have things like chopper gunners. You could have some kind of airstrike or mortar strikes and things like that. Attack dogs could be brought back, which would be pretty cool. There are things out there for them to make kill streaks with, but I just don't see, for Call of Duty the way it's played now, and everybody's already complaining about kill streaks being underpowered. For Call of Duty, I just don't see what kind of good kill streaks. Not in my thoughts. I don't have any ideas. If you do, be sure to leave them down in the comments, and I'm sure Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, whichever one of them would be to do it. Hopefully it would be Treyarch, since they've had a lot of experience. And I know Infinity Ward did make World War II games back in the day when Call of Duty first started coming around. But I would definitely be interested to know what kind of ideas they would have for kill streaks. And then when you come to think about guns, assault rifles back then were pretty much all semi-automatic. You didn't really have fully automatic assault rifles. You had SMGs. You had a few SMGs like the MP40, the STG, things like that, but they weren't the greatest. You had some shotguns and some sniper rifles and some variants of some LMGs and things like that. But guns are also pretty limited back in those days. So, but when it comes to a Battlefield side of things, the way Battlefield is played, I think Battlefield, if they hopped on the World War II era and made a Battlefield game in World War II. I think the first Bad Company, the first Battlefield game they ever made was actually World War II. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. I didn't. That's the only Battlefield I haven't played. Was the first Battlefield Bad Company. But Battlefield nowadays, I think they could really blow us away with the World War II Battlefield game. Because you think about the way it's played, Battlefield is typically slower. You know, so them semi-automatic assault rifles would really, they would really shine, you know, in the Battlefield side of things. Plus, you would have the few SMGs that you would have. You would be able to use on like close quarter engagements, like if you're in a building or on some of the smaller maps that are in Battlefield, which are still always, you know, pretty good size. But you know what I mean. If you're a Battlefield player, you know what I mean. Like things like Operation Locker, really good for SMGs on that map. But, you know, and then you also have LMGs and sniper rifles and things like that. But I think the main thing that would really make Battlefield better is because Battlefield, you have the option to get in vehicles. So you could get in, like, some kind of plane that could drop, you know, airstrikes on positions or things like that. And you could get into tanks or, you know, armored jeeps with turrets and things like that. So I think Battlefield could really do a fantastic job and would be a really great franchise to bring back in some World War II action. Now, for Call of Duty, though, I'm not saying I don't want them to go back to World War II era and make another World at War game. That would be awesome, and I would play it. I think Battlefield would end up being the better game, in my opinion, of course. You know, this is my opinion. I think Battlefield would end up being the better game. But I'm tired of Call of Duty doing this futuristic style shooter. I really don't enjoy it anymore. Black Ops 3 I think should be the last one, because Treyarch is the only one who's done like new movement system right, or not Infinity Ward. Sledgehammer absolutely destroyed Advanced Warfare with the exosuits. I mean, they had a lot of other things that really kind of destroyed that game for a lot of people. But for futuristic Call of Duties, I think they're overdone now. You know, everybody got tired of World War II shooters. So, you know, all these developers went and did Modern Warfares, and then now for Call of Duty futuristic style shooters. But, you know, it's overdone now. I think, you know, everybody agrees that, you know, we want to go back to World War II. But me personally, I want another Modern Warfare. That's what I want. I want the AC-130 to come back, the Pavlo, the Harrier Strike, Predator Missile, Chopper Gunner. You know, I want to see those come back, and I want them to be good like they were in Modern Warfare 2. You know, Modern Warfare 3, the streaks were alright, but, you know, let's be honest, the Chopper Gunner they had was the Osprey Gunner. That thing was crap. And, you know, streaks and like, streaks get shot down too much, man. They get shot down too fast. They need to do something. I think that's the only thing I think Ghost did. And I think part of the reason why the kill streaks were a little bit weaker was because in Ghost, if you think about it, you really didn't have a lock-on launcher. You had the support launcher, was it the Moss, I think is what it was called, where whenever you shot the rocket, wherever you aimed, the rocket went. Kind of like a Reaper missile or a Lodestar missile from Black Ops 2. Is it Lodestar or Lobestar? Is it a B or a D? I don't remember. Anyways, that was a little random thought that went on in my head just there. But Ghost, you know, you didn't really have a lock-on launcher, like nothing like a Stinger missile or like something like the Black Cell, for example. You didn't have anything like that, which is why I think they kind of made the streaks a little bit weaker, because they said, well, we're not going to give you really anything to shoot streaks down, but we won't make the streaks too powerful, you know. Which even honestly, if they made the streaks powerful in that game, the maps were so horrible that it probably wouldn't have mattered if the streaks were like super powerful anyways, because they probably wouldn't have done a lot of work because of how many buildings were on these maps and things like that. There was too many places to hide and buildings and undercover and stuff, so even if the streaks were powerful on Ghost, it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. But anyways, that's all I have on this video. It's just kind of my opinion, kind of my thoughts. I thought it was a interesting topic to talk about. Like I said, in my opinion, I think Battlefield would be the better game in a World War II setting, but I do I still would play Call of Duty if they went back to World War II. Although personally, I would like to see them go with Modern Warfare again. Don't even have to be like Modern Warfare 4, just a modern day shooter for Call of Duty, so they can bring back things like the AC-130 chopper gunners and things like that. Is what I would really like to see. So, anyways, let me know what your opinions are down in the comments below. That is the end of the gameplay, 77-14. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I hope you all have a great, safe, and wonderful day. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.